think things too much right now. You know, when you get an overbought market, but it's too strong to necessarily get like pulled back, that's actually pretty bullish. Like you're seeing sick range on stocks even in these flat days, which is kind of what we want. I'd rather markets just you know, like yesterday we didn't get much action, so we didn't actually have to sit there and read the market. We were just getting a nice flat day. That's usually those are the best days to trade. Like I think flat days are always the best days to trade because you can just dicker and deal on the hottest setups and you'll get a lot better follow through. This sideways consolidation, you got about 4 days where we've just been kind of rolling sideways. That's, for me, that's ideal. That's going to work off this overbought condition we're in and just kind of digest some of these moves. As you can see, like almost the whole watch list of stuff like, you know, we normally trade is all extended, right? And so when it's all extended like that, we've got to be able to just like relax a little bit and we'll just take the best setups. Now there's some good earnings plays out today, so I think we're going to be able to have some fun regardless. So let's take a look at some of the earnings plays, then we'll go into the regular watch list. So this AVCT, good Lord, this thing's already cooking and booking. You can see here, this is kind of a big breakout. It's already up 182%, so this is not going to be like a focus list of at least mine personally, but it is something probably to put in play if you like small caps. Now this DNLI is a little bit better. You know, you've got like a nice breakout here over anything over 30. If it can hold over 30 at some point, this is on watch for an ORB. The float's not a micro float, so we'll actually, you know, you'll be able to kind of get in and out pretty easily. It's a 66 million share float. I think as long as it can kind of, if we see a pattern, we want to make sure that the pattern itself is holding over this breakout spot. So what happens is, like, say you got like this awesome pattern that shows up, but it's under that breakout spot, you're going to have levels of supply like right on top of it, and they won't move as clean. You can already see like this thing is kind of coming back and testing. Let's see how this thing reacts at the open, but if it can hold here, I think we'll have a shot at this one. You know, it's the right sector and it's the right time, meaning this type of setup on these kind of like IPO names have been really working well. See, this is an issue from 2018, so it's a fairly new company. You got to break out the all-time highs if it can hold. That one ends up having it's got a good shot. Let's take a look at some of these other bad boys. TVTY. So this is actually helped post a higher than adjusted EPS. This healthcare sector, you know, with LVGO, TDOC buyout yesterday, you know, this type of stock can actually take a go at it. It doesn't have much liquidity on it yet. It's about 28,000 shares, give or take. But like, it's got a clean break. You've got a nice kind of gap fill over here that it needs to do. Hey David, how you doing? This one looks pretty good. Let's add that to the list for now. Man, abs, huh? Abs, digital turbine, post higher results, blah, blah, blah. 41 million share float. It's a $20 stock. Actually, this one may have some decent range on it. If you look over here, you've got, you know, you're at a 10-year breakout on it. And you can see here on the weekly. It's a little bit thin at the moment, but 184,000 shares is more than enough pre-market volume. I'd add that to the list too. Junk, 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 junk. Damn, there's all sorts of plays going on. See, this Maxer's not too bad. Yeah, this is, you know, this company's been hot for a while, but if you see here, like, you got a 21 spot. Man, that's a breakout. Like, that's a 2-year breakout over there. It's a tech stock. Technology sector's been hot this whole, you know, this whole run. Not too much, you know, not too much action in the pre-market yet in terms of volume. This stock doesn't ever really do that much pre-market volume anyways. But I think if you can hold over 21, like this one's got a chance. Yeah, and you know what? There's some big name tech companies that also had some earnings. I will go over those in, you know, a hot second. Let me get rid of all this junk here. GoDaddy. Now this I could get behind. GoDaddy revenue top street estimates guides for upbeat Q3. You got breakout over here. If you look here, 85 is a big spot. Yes, this thing, I think this might be the best one out of the group here. If it takes out this 84, 85 spot sometime at the open, like you start the ORB right around that area, this one's got a chance. Brian Bradley back in action. Let's move that to the top of the list for now. Plug. Look at this thing. Butt plugs back in action. All right, so with plug usually goes, the rest of these things start to kind of follow along with it. So, you know, I'd keep a couple of these like little battery stocks around. This plug is not bad. You know, you're at a really nice sweet spot. It's actually always got pretty good liquidity on it. It's not like a tiny low float stock. There's a 240 million share float. Yeah, why not? 10 a.m. CCM plug. So watch kind of that post 10 a.m. move. We'll see what's going on this one. Let's add that to the list for now. What we're going to do is kind of marinate this thing back down. Couple things to watch today. You know, this TDOC and LVGO, they got marked yesterday on their merger news. If you come back and retest down here, you know, if you fade out this gap, you know, there's a good shot this thing starts to bounce. You know, looks like, you know, they announced the deal and probably, you know, all the long-term holders just dumped it on the pop. But if this thing starts to pull back like this is, you know, this may have a chance here if you start to hold these supports. I think they're going to move around pretty well today. I wouldn't chase these things up on the gap. Like if you start to roll this thing and watch for like a red roll, you know, that'll get some shorts in this bad boy. If it starts to marinate around here, like we'll have a chance on, definitely a chance on getting that thing going. Let's see on the downside if we got anything special here. Let's search. Need something clean. All right, so FSLY has earnings out today. Jeez. Look at this thing. Born in the USA. Yeah, so you got like already a breakdown happening on this thing. I mean, this thing's getting pummeled. So I got two worries on this one. Number one, like you're right on this sweet spot support. The SSR is going to be on this one. When the SSR is on this one, it's going to be tough to just short it like right when you want to short it because you can't short the bid, right? So if you do even like a market order or something like that, I think that this one's, you know, going to be a little bit tough to get into. It would have been nice if this thing like opened down like 10%. We would have had a little bit, little bit of a trouble. If this thing bounces back up, you know, anywhere in there, we'll look for a reroll, but I can't short this one low. I'll add it to the list. Not that keen on it. I'm not that keen on this one just for the fact that SSR is going to be on and you're going to have like a real weird spot, a location on this one. Now, can somebody check? It looks like Etsy already had its earnings come out, so it's having a minimal reaction to it. This one's been a big mover this year. You know, this could have a chance. You know, like you've probably got a little bit of ways to pull back. I think they must have came out yesterday afternoon. So it's minimal reaction so far, which actually I like. It'll give us a little bit of upside. If this thing ORBs to the downside, we're gonna have to take a little goose and a gander on this thing. What do you think? Yeah, let's add that to the list. me see. What difference does that make? Same shit, different day. But I see it. I saw the quick spike. It's only for 5 minutes. Yeah, let's add that to the list. I think that one and GoDaddy got a chance. And frankly, don't even be surprised to see this thing get bought back up and make a little push later. Hold on here. Damn, Sono? I had high hopes for this sucker. Yeah, you see Sono was like $6. You boasted on earnings. You got room to fall on this one a little bit here. Maybe down into the 14s. I'd add that one. Silver is probably getting a little bit long in the tooth at this point. Man, I had 2 silver contracts at like 24. I just unloaded the fuckers. You know what? I think this one may fade off, at some point today. Mara is a hope. Yeah, watching over under on this thing. If you see a fake breakout, fake breakout and a break back under, probably short this pig. And it is a pig. The pig of pigs, actually. Yeah, these blockchain stocks are tough. I mean, you've already missed most of the move. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Hold on here. We got to reorganize this junk here. So we got Sono. Fuck, Wix. Look at this bad boy. Damn, that's some good range on this thing. So this one's been in a trender for a long time. A lot of these kind of names, like Wix, Wayfair, they're up so much from like the kind of coronavirus lows that any kind of bad news on these bad boys will knock these things down real quick. Now the problem with Wix is that it's like right at the sweet spot, so you probably get a little bit of a bounce at the open off this level, and then then maybe a re-roll. Yeah, I'm gonna add Wix because my only worry with Wix is there's gonna be just a giant monster cock spread on it. Could be like $2. So we'll have to be like super mindful of just the location of that. Yeah, we'll have to see how this thing opens up. If it gets back, under 255 at some point or 257, we'll look at it. But like right now, you're at a key level. It's going to be a little bit more tricky. Man, there's too many earnings plays. Just look at WDC. So most earnings have been dipped. Looks like if you take out the FANG stocks, so you got the Apples, Googles, blah blah blah. If you take out the FANG stocks, most of these earnings plays have been dick. They're all getting shredded, right? FSLY and all the ones that we like to watch. It's kind of telling you a little bit something about the market. Western Digital, this is another one. Now this thing stinks to trade. So you've got actually a clean breakdown over here. But in general, we've traded this thing. So we're on year 12 of this chat room. And we never made any money on this damn stock. So I'd probably leave that one alone. TWO, bum, 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 bum. Yeah, see this one's pushing back into support. No good. No, baby. Roku's already out. Let me see. Yeah, not much of a reaction on it. But Roku's a daily trader for us for the most part. We'll have to keep an eye on it, but there's just no easy play on here. So you got it's gapping down, but it's gapping down into support. That's going to be much, much more tricky. All right, so those are the earnings plays. Let's kind of rank these real quick. I think GoDaddy's probably the cleanest. Etsy will be number 2. This TVTI number 3. This DNI, I would put this like actually number 2 because this one's gonna have some sick range. You can already see, like, let's see this thing. It's like a 2-point pop already. I think this one's gonna have the range that we need. And then I see like Roku FSOI. These are more, you know, like if it gets hot or something, we'll take a little gander. But I don't see anything on those where I'd be like, okay, like that's my main focus. Now let's just talk about the regular watch list, right? So those are your earnings plays. And it's a little bit, I would say it's, it's a little bit intimidating this time of the year due to the fact that, Darren, I'm giving you the list. Don't give me that junk. I'm just fucking with you. I'm giving you the hot ones. Yeah, it's going to be intimidating, but remember, when the market is going flat, you want to focus in on news plays. You know, you want to focus in on news plays that have their own catalyst, right? They've got their own volume. You know, they got whatever's happening with the market doesn't really matter. You know, because these are going to have news out. So let's go in with just kind of daily traders. ENPH. Monster trend yesterday. You got a big breakout here. You got a weak open on this one. Let's watch this one for the red to green. Like when it goes, it goes. It is a little bit tricky. You know, yesterday it did a red to green. It popped like $3 in like one candle, and then it came all the way back down before it kind of started to marinate. The reason is it trades a little bit thin at the open. When they're a little bit thin at the open, they'll often push at the red to green and just spike. But if you don't have like too much follow through, then they just dump back. But you can see like later on, like the trend that started to come in from 70 to 76. Like this is a nice clean. Once the trend actually sets on this, it is a nice clean play. Damn, SQ's already started to bounce. I think SQ's also like a day 2. You know, you faded back a good chunk of the gap, which is actually probably good. It's a little bit of a thicker play. I think this one's in bouncy mode today too. So add that to the list. Good, 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 good. Hold on here. That was the one I was looking for. Mitch. So this is Match.com, I think. And he had a big push right at the open on the 9 EMA pull. When you get a play like Mitch, you know, this is like your ideal type of pull. Like, see, like you gap up and then you just get this nice pull into the 9. When you start to see the rounding there, like that's when the range will really set, and you'll catch like these really quick rips. It sat around the rest of the day, which is actually ideal. If you watch this thing, so it's down about $2 at the open. If it goes red to green, and you start to kind of bust back through yesterday's highs, like you're going to start to get another upside on it. Frankly, the stock's had some good range on it. If you look here, the ATR 6.11. So last 10 days, so last 2 business weeks, it's been really goosing. Look at that D&I go already. Fuckers. Yeah, and you can hit these things. You know, something like this, you can do it in the pre-market. I mean, you know, if you can still play the patterns. Mitch, red to green, and then let's see how it pushes around 122, 123. If it doesn't hold these supports down here, then I'll just leave this thing alone. There's so many plays out there today, you don't necessarily need to fuck around with it too much. Those are the lists. That's the list. And add TDO, CLVGO. That's the list. I'm sticking to it. One thing to keep an eye out, but I think it's going to be too tricky of a trader for most people. This big C had some awesome range yesterday. Opened up at 66, got to 96, 30 points, and then it fucked around the rest of the day. You start to see this thing build. You can get a day 2 play out of something like this. The problem with this one is it's thin. It's very thin. So what happens is when it's thin, the spread was at times $2-3. So you can't even really trade more than a handful of 100 shares on this unless you have like just a picture perfect entry. But if the trend starts to set on this, this one's gonna have a heater. Let me see what you guys are looking at. APOG. This is not my type of play just because I don't like the chart. And, it's just been stuck in a range too long. So no good for me. Team is another one. Like, it's just stuck in a range here. So with that absence of trend, like, it's very, very hard. OSTK. Yeah, it looks like OSTK's got a 100 spot, coming up on this. It's, frankly, unless it just dips big, I can't really play this one anymore. I think once you get into the hundreds, like the short is going to be there. It's just a matter of, it's just a matter of setting it. We're getting in this. By the way, this thing used to be like $2 at the beginning of the year. How sick would that been? Just roll a couple thousand shares and just. Why can't I ever get one of those? I think it's too high to long here. Hey, Ricky, yeah, the pot stocks look okay. They've just been trading like crap. Like the CGC's stuck under range. Prawn stinks. The problem with these things are just that they're just big, gelatinous turds. There's just no getting around it. They're big, smelly turds, and they just don't move well anymore. If this was, a couple of years ago, they were moving great. In absence of trend, stocks will be up one day, then down one day, up one day, down one day. So, like, if you think about, like, a hot market where everything is going, do you want to be stuck in something that's just, like, kind of up and down, up and down? Donkey Kong's another one that's just, like, sitting on some support. It's just been a tough trader the last few days, so you're gonna have to like kind of let this thing start to build back out. I think the better one for now, like they run together, the cleaner one is Penn. Yeah, the cleaner one's been Penn. ZM also. ZM's right at the breakout spot. You got a weak open on this one. Watch for any kind of red to green. Break of 275. Yeah, I think that one's got a chance too. Good. Everything else is just probably take it off. You got to clean up your list. In this kind of market, there's just too many damn stocks. Silver's going bonkers. You can see the silver futures SIL up 5%. There's a lot of these little heaters. JNUG looks okay too. Yeah, I would put run on the list, but only on dips. Cool. That's the list. We're sticking to it. Yay, PRN, maybe something. I took a pass on it. I think there's just better plays out there. But you go for it, Mo. You seem to really like that one. All right, that's the list. Trade well, trade fast. You know the deal. So Niall's got a couple things that it needs to do. It's just kind of digesting this last move here. Once this thing starts to tighten up, it should make probably an attack back to the 16s. It's coming. It just needs a little bit of work. Hey, Don. All right, let's go do this, guys. I'll be in the chat room. Hopefully we're not trading all day. I will say one thing I've noticed the last couple days. The mornings have been hot. The midday has been not. Yeah, Eric, we're all in here goofing around pretty much all day, all night. Cool. Let's go have some fun. Trade well, trade fast. Manage your risk. And don't get overwhelmed by too many stocks. If there's too many stocks popping, just make your list smaller. Pick the best ones. Oftentimes you got to tier your list, meaning like a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, like which ones are your faves. And that way you kind of can stay organized. Good. All right, let's do this, boys and girls. Miss Priceman, you ready to roll? TC, you're back. Where you been? All right, go time.